Okay, day 44 of trying to become a SOC analyst. Today we're looking at a Utilman exploit. This is a really common priv-esque Windows abuse, taking advantage of accessibility options before you log into a Windows machine. So this should be an interesting one. Let's jump in and see what we can see. So, I did not want to start the playbook yet. Let me open up another tab of the monitoring. Go to our investigation channel. We do want to investigate before opening the playbook. So, we've got a hash for Utilman. We've got the IP of the endpoint that flagged the alert, and it's been flagged because we see this net user Superman with 1punch123 password has been added to the system. So let's go to that endpoint, Henry, and while that's loading, let's look at the hash. We've got virus total. So you see with the hash here, it's telling us that it's not malicious, but it's also saying that it's cmd.exe. So it's not what we're led to believe the naming is on our alert, which is Utilman. So go to our endpoint and look at the terminal. And so our whole alert can be summed up in just the terminal history here. So somebody's gone into Windows System 32. They've renamed the Utilman.exe process, which is when you log into Windows, you can click down the bottom, go to accessibility options, get an on-screen keyboard, or that's the most common one, or I guess it does reading out loud, text to speech, that type of thing. I commonly know it for the keyboard, but they've renamed it to utilman.old. They've then copied cmd.exe to the utilman.exe, shut down the system, and looking at the timestamps, so once the system's come back on, they've obviously, we can't see what they've done, but with this priv-esque is once the system reboots, you're on the login screen, you can go to those accessibility options and click as if you're launching the onboard keyboard, and instead it will spawn a CMD prompt, and then you can use that prompt to do whatever malicious act you want to do, which is in this case net user. Okay, who am I? I can add Superman and elevate the permissions to administrator, so adding the new user to the administrator group. So the machine has been compromised, a local priv-esque. So contain it. Yes. Don't think we need to look at any other logs. It's very clear cut here, everything we need to know, and the escalation can take care of the rest. So contain the machine. I said I'd already accidentally pressed the playbook, so I've got it open here. What are living off the land binaries? An LOLBin is a binary supplied by the operating system. So that was what I was just describing, where they've overtaken or overwritten the accessibility option with command. We identified the binary. We saw that in virus total that it was actually CMD. Suspicious activity. Is it suspicious? We saw from the commands that they were adding a user. Okay, so what sort of activity is it? I credentials, because they're obviously elevating privileges. Persistence, because they're adding an account. I'm going to go with credentials. Who performed the activity? So it was a local user. We've contained it. What artifacts can we add? I mean, just to fill something, and we can have the endpoint. Oh. And we don't want someone just to blindly block this, but we do want to add the hash. So we'll just say that it was overridden, and that's the hash of the overridden file. I think that should be enough for the artifacts. Okay, pause the video, I'll write up my notes. I'll see you in 1 second. Okay, so we've got the notes mapped to the MITRE attack, accessibility features, create account, and exploitation of privilege escalation. Who, what, when, where, why. Let's jump through them. Who activity was observed on host Henry, where Utilman.exe was launched by Winlogon and executed the command net user superman one punch /add, indicating local account creation with elevated privileges. The what, an attacker modified the Windows accessibility binary Utilman.exe by renaming the original file and replacing it with cmd.exe. After rebooting the system, the attacker leveraged the accessibility feature at the Windows logon screen to obtain system-level command prompt access. From this elevated context, a new user account Superman was created and added to the local administrators group. The when, we've got the timestamp. The where, on hostname Henry, the internal IP 172. The location of the Utilman, the process. The why, the attacker abused the Windows accessibility feature Utilman, which can be launched before authentication at the login screen. By replacing Utilman with CMD, the attacker obtained system level shell prior to user authentication. This allowed creation of a new privileged account without valid credentials, resulting in successful local privilege escalation and persistence. The evidence, we pulled that from the command line history. Utilman was renamed, CMD was copied to its location, the system was rebooted, the commands to add the user and elevate the privileges were run. The alert was confirmed as the true positive. We contained it, isolated the host. We need to remove the unauthorized account and restore the original Utilman binary. So let's submit that. Okay, it hasn't accepted that. Sometimes it does not like so many lines in the logs. Let's trim it and see if we can get it through. Okay, sorry, sometimes have issues getting the notes in. It doesn't like the formatting. Alright, we've got our case. Let's close it. Was true positive. Paste our notes in again. And let's see how we went. based on the provided alert, the specified suspicious activity can be identified as persistence of a suspicious file named on the system. The alert indicates that the Utilman.exe process, which was typically associated with the ease of access button, this activity leads to the creation of a user account with the escalation of his privileges. The answer is, persistence. So I chose credentials as the allocation of the ticket, but they're saying persistence was the right answer. Okay, I'll try to remember that for future. Everything else was correct, we just didn't group it correctly. Alright, persistence, good to know. So today we learned of a very typical Privesc technique of using Windows accessibility to be able to get access to the local machine without credentials and create an account. So this was a true positive. We contained it. We do need to brush up on classing it. I need to class it as persistence, not credentials, so that's something good for me to learn. See you on day 45.